Lesson 10-3, area of circles. And in this lesson, you learn to find the area of circles. When are you ever going to use this? You can use the area of a circle to find the area of your yard covered by a sprinkler because it forms a circle. So the people of Kobe, Japan were awakened at 5:46 the morning of January 17, 1995 by one of the most destructive earthquakes in history. The epicenter of the earthquake was near the island of Awajishima. Damage extended as far as Osaka, 27 miles away. What is the area of the region affected by the earthquake? Okay, so if this is the epicenter of the earthquake, okay, remember uh, the epicenter simply means that it is a center or it is a start where it is the source, okay, of the quake, and therefore it creates a circle around it, okay, and that's what we want to find out. What is the area of the region affected by the earthquake, okay? Since Osaka is 27 miles away. We'll solve this in example 3. So you will need a formula for area or circle to answer this question. And a good way to start is watching this video to see how we arrive at the formula for the area of a circle. So let's see.
Pi r squared gives you the area of a circle. But where does pi r squared come from? First, we'll draw a circle and fill in its area. Next, we will divide it into large equal parts and arrange them in a rectangular formation. As you can see, it barely resembles a rectangle. So next, we will divide the circle into small equal pieces and we will arrange them in the same manner. You can see that it appears more like a rectangle. So, if we divide the circle into even more smaller pieces, you can see that every time the shape becomes more like a rectangle. So, how small must we divide a circle before we can make it a rectangle? Well, we can keep on dividing the circle into small, smaller, or the smallest pieces we can make. But the answer is to divide the circle infinitely many times until we cannot distinguish the lines, and eventually the circle can now become a rectangle. So, the area of the circle is equal to the area of the rectangle, equal to length times height. The height of the rectangle, as you can see, is the same as the radius, so height is equal to radius. To find the base, we need to look at the circumference of the circle. And when we compare the base and the circumference, we can see that the base is equal to 1/2 the circumference. Pi r squared gives you the area of a circle. But where does pi r squared come from? First, we'll draw a circle and fill in its area. Next, we will divide it into large equal parts and arrange them in a rectangular formation. As you can see, it barely resembles a rectangle. So next, we will divide the circle into small equal pieces and we will arrange them in the same manner. You can see that it appears more like a rectangle. So, if we divide the circle into even more smaller pieces, you can see that every time the shape becomes more like a rectangle. So, how small must we divide a circle before we can get a perfect rectangle? Well, we can keep on dividing the circle into small, smaller, or the smallest pieces you can make. But the answer is to divide the circle infinitely many times until we cannot distinguish the lines, and eventually the circle can now become a perfect rectangle. So, the area of the circle is equal to the area of the rectangle, which is equal to base times height. The height of the rectangle, as you can see, is the same as the radius. So height is equal to radius. To find the base, we need to look at the circumference of the circle. And when we compare the base and the circumference, we can see that the base is equal to 1/2 the circumference. Remember that the circumference is equal to 2 pi r. When we combine it with 1/2, the 2's cancel out, and base is equal to pi r. So now base times height becomes pi r times r. Combine the r's together and we have pi r squared, which is equal to the area of the rectangle, which is equal to the area of the circle. So pi r squared can be used to calculate the area of any size circle that exists.
And that is how you find or derive the area of a circle. Okay? Now, in the video, the length of its base is 1/2 of the circumference of the circle, so 1/2 c. So b equals 1/2 c. So let's just recap what the video just said. So basically, what's happening is that once you make your a circle into a rectangle, okay, the height would be r, that would be the radius, and this would just be 1/2 of the circumference. Okay, so basically, if you follow the area of a rectangle, area of a rectangle base saying that area equals base times height, and in our case, the base of our circle broken apart would be 1/2 of your circumference times the radius, which is also the height, and then we replace the formula the formula for circumference with 2 pi r, because circumference equals 2 pi r, so this becomes 1/2 times 2 pi r times r, okay, and then 1/2 times 2 is 1, so you're left with pi r times pi r times r, and then you simply simplify that to become pi r squared. And from the video, it's very clear how this came about. So the area of a circle is nothing more than area equals pi r squared. Okay, now let's take a look at example number 1 and see how this works. Find the area of a circle. For each circle, use 3.144 pi. So again, first and foremost, we write down the formula, pi r squared, area of a circle. Substitute r with 16 since the radius is 16, so this becomes pi times 16 squared. And pi times 16 squared times 3.14 using a calculator is 803.84. So the area of the circle is about 804 square feet. Now again, if you notice, the area will always be an approximate value, because the value of pi, okay, is an irrational number. It never terminates nor does it repeat. Okay, so let's take a look at example number 2. The diameter is 1.4 meters. Remember that the radius is 1/2 the diameter, so our radius is 0.7 of a meter. Substitute that to our formula, pi times 0.7 squared. That becomes now 0.7 squared is 0.49. Multiply that by 3.14 using a calculator. This becomes 1.5386. So the area is about 1.54 square meters. Okay, and finally, let's take a look at earth science, and let's remember the beginning of the lesson. We want to find the area region affected by the earthquake. So the radius of the circle region was 27 miles. Remember, it was felt all the way to Osaka, which was 27 miles from the epicenter. follow the formula pi r squared, substitute 27 because 27 is the radius of our center, okay? And then using a calculator, we end up with the area of 2,289. So the area of the region is about 2,289 square miles, okay? And the secret word for this particular lesson is heat. Again, the secret word is heat. Thank you for watching.